It's just horrendous what he says. It's just horrible, but it's going to make great content.
If you're 14 and you're pregnant and you don't feel safe to go to your parents and disclose that, the problem is, are your parents.
So what? How's it going to affect you? How's it going to affect straight people?
Ciao and g'day.
Welcome back to our channel.
I'm Lily.
And I'm Sam.
Oh my god, why did I do this? And pretty please like, comment and subscribe. Follow our TikTok and Instagram accounts too.
Yes, please.
It's all linked down below. That's not great. Stab it. So today we've got a bit of an unconventional video for you. I was cleaning up my storage, as one does, because I've been getting messages on Gmail, on iCloud, everywhere, being like, your storage is almost full. Like, yep. Come up with some original material, please. So I was going through all of my old stuff and I came across a voice recording from when I was in year 12 in high school. So in Australia, that's the last year of high school. And it's an interview with one of my old teachers about whether gay marriage should be legalised or not. Yes, it was not legal by the time I finished high school. It was made legal the year after. Go ahead.
Funny enough, it became legal the year that I visited Australia for the first time.
Yeah, she's convinced that she has something to do with the legalisation of gay marriage.
I have proof because when I went to live in America for the first time, also gay marriage became legal, 2015.
Yes.
Then I went to Australia, 2017, gay marriage was legal.
So for one of my society and culture class assignments, I had to interview people from both sides of a certain argument, debate, topic. I chose gay marriage and I had to interview one of the teachers in the school that I knew opposed gay marriage, and I found the interview for that. I listened to about 5 minutes of it on my own and I was like, oh my god, this is gold. Like, it's just horrendous what he says. It's just horrible, but it's gonna make great content. I thought it would be interesting for us to listen to the interview and give our feedback. I think there's some really controversial lines in the interview on his part. We've got bubble tea for emotional support.
Yeah. It'll make my hole bigger, so...
What did you just say? You're gonna make your hole bigger?
Yeah.
Right.
12.
Look, we're talking about high school. Maybe I'm being brought back into my high school mentality. I don't know. Oh my god, I'm sweaty already. Are you ready? I'm scared.
I'm super ready. Okay. I can see you're nervous.
I'm so nervous. I'm worried about how I'm going to come across in this interview as well. Just keep in mind that I was in high school, alright?
Which sexuality do you identify with?
You mean, what do I consider myself to be? Voice of him, gender or sex?
Sexuality.
Male?
No, like, straight.
Or heterosexual?
Right off the bat, he doesn't even know the difference between sexuality and gender.
He asked, so I thought he knew because that's his first question.
He's clearly not a knowledgeable source.
How would gay marriage being legalised affect our society?
Alright, let's start with kids. Because obviously that's something that can't happen naturally. As a society, we recognise the civil union type concept, the de facto relationship between a homosexual couple. But the issue seems to be whether they can be married, even though we essentially have all the same rights given to them. So it seems like the topic is not about having those legal rights, it's about the title. What's so significant about the title that is making people feel that they are?
It should be left to each couple
to
decide whether they want to be married, whether they want to just be in a de facto relationship, whether they just want to live together. Why should just heterosexual couples decide which one they want? Like,
and
why?
And queer people don't have a choice.
Yeah. It changes nothing for the straight couples as well.
Let's come back to is what is marriage and why do people want it, but essentially what it is.
We're 6 minutes into the interview. First of all, he has been talking so much that I forgot what your question was.
I think I asked how it would affect our society.
Yeah. He still has not answered it.
No, he hasn't answered it.
He has been talking for at least 5 minutes.
Shall we continue?
Yes.
I love you.
I love you.
I love you. We're gross.
So beautiful.
If we break down the traditional family, yeah,
Already, I just want to say something.
Please do.
He's about to say, well, if we look into a traditional family, which, and I'm going to assume he's going to say a mother, a father, and children, neither of us comes from a regular traditional family. My parents are not together, have not been together for many, many years. So I was mainly raised by my mom. And,
I'm just laughing because I say basically.
Oh,
You're saying it. I'm about to say it. I'm pretty sure.
like, what is a traditional family?
He's talking about like the nuclear Christian family. I think keep in mind that this is a Christian school and he's a Christian. He's saying traditional family as if it's the only traditional family to exist.
Dinosaurs were living with mom, dad, and little dinosaurs. Like, it makes us, what is traditional? We define that. We decide what it
Maybe
is.
we did not evolve from dinosaurs.
Talk for yourself. Speak for yourself.
when girls all live together, they end up linking up in their cycles.
It's not true! It's not true! It's a myth!
Busted!
We get things from the people we live with. We get these pheromones and stuff like that, and they transfer across, and that's what happens in human interactions. And there's all this research that says that parents, girls who have no father in their household, they hit puberty much faster, and then they're much more likely to be engaging in achieving union with boys at a much younger age. And
I'm gonna say this is really funny because I grew up without a father in my day-to-day life, but I had sex.
No, then
way
you
later.
achieved union.
Actually, I achieved union. I was quite late, late. There's no right age to do it or not do it.
Yeah, but it wasn't early or whatever.
I was not early compared to
your peers.
my peers. And again, there's nothing wrong with it.
She was in an all-female household, so
Yeah.
myth busted.
there's obviously something about having a male presence in the house that influences the development of a daughter.
But what about single mothers and...
That's where they often get the stats from, is those families where there is no father figure.
I don't think that's a good enough reason to...
No. It's not. They're not.
Also, de facto relationships, you can get just as much out of as marriage, then, like, two women are going to adopt kids anyway.
Sorry.
Like, what's the change? What would the change be if you, like, legalised marriage?
I'm basically using his own argument against him.
That's the exact question. What is the change? So what's the big deal?
Well, would you be happy to just be in a de facto relationship and not be married to your wife?
But I am married to my wife,
Yeah.
yeah. Why is it so important for those people to then be deemed the title of marriage? I mean, we have to redefine what marriage is.
That they aren't deemed
That was
the title of
exactly what I was
marriage.
saying. Why is it so important to you that they're not married?
If I don't have kids because I make that choice not to have kids, can I then complain when I don't have a kid to give my inheritance to? If you're in a same-sex relationship, you know that there's no marriage at the end of it.
So is he saying that
If he makes a choice, he's happy to accept the consequences of that.
okay, I misunderstood what he was saying.
Because he doesn't make an argument well.
Again, 9 minutes in, and he still has not answered the question.
Because it differs you from everyone else.
If we start saying a family doesn't need to have a father, and it can have 2 mothers, which is what we're already joined with, as we have, is a lot of evidence to say that that has a negative impact on the child because there is no father figure. Just like when there's 2 males, that has a negative impact on the child because there's no mother figure. And if we break down that that's what...
What about, like, two alcoholics meet and they want to get married or something, you don't say, oh, okay, you're both alcoholic, you can't get married because it might affect the child.
Yeah, absolutely, but there are also...
There's so many like bad things in female and male that don't get tested for, but for some reason, like a girl and a girl raising a child would be disastrous.
Well, no, it's not saying that there can't be abuses in a male and female raising of a kid.
Yeah, but
I hope you don't think that I was acknowledging that there is research to support. I think I hadn't really done enough research then myself to know whether he was right about the research, all this research that he talks about.
I don't think it comes across like you're saying, okay, let's say that there is some research.
Yeah.
Let's say
you're right.
Which I don't think it's true. Then there's also a lot of research that would prove that being raised by two alcoholic parents is not good for you. So
why are we
allowing...
Yeah, where is the line? Like, if we're going to start saying you can't get married if the child might potentially be affected, then we need to hold the same standards for all other couples where the child might be affected. Two people with trauma, two people that have never gone to therapy.
There's differences between male and female. This idea that we're all the same is lunacy. We will all bring different things to a family.
There are differences in between also females. Like, we're not the same.
Yeah.
There's differences in people who are 153 centimeters tall. Like,
Differences
we're
amongst
not
races,
all
differences
the same.
amongst able
We have, yeah.
You could have like less in common potentially with a woman than you might have with
I think
a
there
man.
are plenty of women on this planet that I have nothing in common with. Except
Let's look at some of the stats. Only half of the homosexual male couples believe fidelity is important. What does that actually do to the institution of marriage?
let's Google how many straight couples.
You can say
Cheat.
you value fidelity
Yeah.
on paper and
That's-
then
Yeah.
go and find them.
And
That's not the
also,
case.
there are people who are in open relationship or marriages. Both straight and non-straight people who are in open marriages. Yeah, he wants to be in a
Monogamous. I think to me, like he says, this is why we need to define marriage. To me, how I would define marriage is people that have decided to do everything in their power to make it work for as long as they can. If there's abuse or anything like that in the relationship, then like that just immediately erases my definition. If there's abuse, get out. But if a polyamorous relationship is more likely to stay together longer, make it work better and for longer as a polyamorous couple rather than monogamous, then they should do that because that is going to benefit their relationship.
If we look at how negatively children are impacted by split families.
What about the difficulties when parents are clearly not right for each other and fighting in front of their children?
The problem is not the parents split up. This is not what causes issues to the children. The problem is how the parents handle it. How do you handle it? How do the parents continue to communicate and co-parent?
So what? How's it going to affect you? How's it going to affect straight people?
Well, how does it affect gay people?
They feel like they're accepted and the same as everyone else.
Do you know that there's a big agenda push, Lily? They are saying we need to stop overpopulation. Earth's too full and we can't sustain it. Now, have you ever been to a restaurant? You should see the food we waste. It's just beans and beans of... I'll get from a land phase, I get. All right, so because
he thinks that the media is skewed or people are skewed towards wanting gay marriage to be legalized because people are worried about overpopulation. I did choke on one of your bobas.
we waste food ridiculously in our society. Yet, in the same sentence we say, we don't have enough food to feed many more people. Oh, those two things don't match up.
I think two things can be true. Well, like we are wasting way too much food. There are two different issues, okay? You can be overpopulated and still waste too much food.
For sure.
Because the food is not distributed
It's not
properly.
distributed properly. He doesn't realise that correlation doesn't equal causation.
His picking like different
Yeah,
stuff
cherry
and,
picking,
like,
yeah. And he's fear-mongering, like he's taking all of the techniques that the people on the right use to stop something that really doesn't hurt them. Like, that's what he's grasping for.
He's still
things
20 minutes in, has not
answered my question.
If we can change what the concept of a family is, does that address the population increase issue that we're being told there is in the world?
This is the gay agenda.
Yeah.
Let us get married because we're worried about overpopulation.
Then we get to the issue of kids being raised in a same-sex environment statistically are much more inclined to have homoerotic type fantasy.
Wait, so girls raised by only women are more likely to sleep with boys at a younger age, but they're also simultaneously more likely to be gay.
What?
I don't know.
Thinking that a same-sex relationship is the same as a heterosexual relationship.
Can be.
Actually, I think it's not. It's much better.
I agree. I think that
No.
both can be good, both can be bad, and it depends on whether I think finding the partner that is right for you plays a huge part in whether you parent well together. Yeah,
But
sort of.
Different. Why can't we actually acknowledge that it's different and call it something different?
he has a point. I think we should create something new that is exactly like marriage,
But better.
we'll call it.
Super marriage.
But it's exactly the same, okay? And it's gonna be so much better than marriage. It's gonna be exactly the same.
Yeah, you get like ice cream.
For free every Tuesday, and then straight people will be like, "Well, but I also want."
They're not allowed any ice cream.
That's where we're different. We'll be like,
You can have ice cream
You're
too.
welcome to have the super marriage or whatever.
I don't think we should give them ice cream.
It's discriminatory. It's like having a different toilet for blacks and a different toilet for white.
No, it's completely different to that.
Even if they're the exact same type of bathroom, it's still like separating.
It's complete each other into segregation, all right?
How?
Because segregation, you're talking about the same species, the same, just a different coloured pigment. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, instead with gays, you're not the same species. We're a different species. That's what he's saying.
Different sexuality.
No, but it's not a different behaviour. It's not saying,
Well, they have different cultures and different upbringings.
yeah, but you still got a male interacting with female, don't you? If I don't get to go on the all-girls netball trip, and do I have a case for discrimination? No, I don't, because it's a girls' netball trip, and it should be staffed by a girl, like a female staff member, because it's limits what I can and can't do.
Well, you can't do girly things like support them with their periods and stuff like that. But if they're your own child, you can.
I disagree. It doesn't matter what gender the teacher is, because if someone, well, for him only girls can have periods, but if someone has a period and they're asking for support, the only thing that a teacher could do to provide support is probably go buy some products. What can they do? Nothing else would be appropriate. They cannot come to the toilet with you regardless of their gender. They cannot inspect you and check that you actually bleed. Like, there's nothing appropriate that they could do other than provide something to you, which doesn't really matter what gender they are.
Yeah.
Again, what
It's
you said
because-
is true.
It's because of society, because girls feel ashamed to come to a man with period related issues, which I think is wrong. Like,
If you were in a homosexual relationship and you had a daughter, you can help them with their periods.
Can I really understand what it's like to go from a 12-year-old to a 14-year-old, 15-year-old girl?
You can learn.
I can learn, but I can never actually, well,
Well, they'll have other female role models.
but then we outsource, all right? And then we've changed what this idea of a family is. They tell you about a clinic you can go to, which is like completely confidential, and right? Now, is it in a family's best interest to go to a third party where, like let's say a 14-year-old girl gets pregnant and goes to this confidential service that we're offering to support. Now, does that negatively affect the relationship between the daughter and the mother, or the daughter and the father? Because there's this secret.
If you're 14 and you're pregnant and you don't feel safe to go to your parents and disclose that, the problem are your parents.
Yeah.
Okay?
It's not the fact that there is a safe space for the 14-year-old to go to. It's the fact that the parents have not made that 14-year-old
They
feel
created an
comfortable.
unsafe situation for you. They created,
Situation changes everything in that family. That outsourcing of parenting in that capacity, in that situation, does massive damage to the family structure. Because the family don't know what that girl is going through. Person who can help a daughter go through those changes is a mum who's gone through the changes.
What about a mum that has never had a period and has adopted their child or gone through surrogacy?
Yeah. My sister broke her knee twice.
Yeah.
And when that happened, nobody else in my family had broken a knee before. So should we have given it for adoption to someone who had broken a knee? Like, should we just not support someone? Like, even if I don't know what the pain that you're going through and everything, I can still support you.
Yeah, it's the most
best
ridiculous.
to help you out. Again, makes no sense.
Okay, well, can we just say that homosexual parents would be the worst thing to happen to a child? Like, even if you don't think that, let's just say it's the worst thing. They're going to do it anyway, according to you, because in a de facto relationship, you can have the same thing as in a marriage.
Yep.
So they're going to do it anyway.
Right.
Why can't they be married and do it anyway?
Why? Because what that does is that influences what we understand marriage to be. You are actually changing the very structure called marriage. The family structure is, and has always, in terms of humanity, revolved around that thing. That's kind of a big deal.
He's talking about one culture that has not even been around since the beginning of time.
Marriage is something that we humans one day decided to make. We
socially constructed it.
We created it. So we're also able to slightly change the definition.
Like we changed it, you weren't allowed to get married as an interracial couple, and we changed it because we saw that was discriminatory.
Saying, doesn't matter if we chuck that out or change it or do what we want with it. And I think we do that in our progressive rush, our rush to be progressive.
Anyway,
any closing statements?
I think he struggled to answer your question.
Yeah. He spent 45 minutes rambling about stuff that has absolutely no relevance.
I think his only point was that, according to him, the definition of marriage is a woman and a man committing to each other. And for him, it's not fair that we change this definition. That is his only point of argument.
The other things are just deflecting and fear-mongering and confusing. Like, I feel like he was trying to confuse me.
Yeah, it was confusing to hear the whole interview.
I mean, I hope he has reflected and progressed.
It would be great if you could interview him now after years.
The legalization of gay marriage.
Yeah, I wonder if since the legalization of gay marriage in Australia, his point of view changed, if he had time to reflect.
What do you guys think? Would you have said anything differently than 17, 18-year-old Lily
and
during the interview?
And I wonder, like, if any of the people watching has ever gone through this, actually, through a change like this, like they were thinking a certain way because they grew up a certain way. But then they sort of educated themselves. I think it's interesting.
Yeah, please let us know. Thanks so much for coming along for another video.
Thank you so much.
We'll see you next time.
Yeah.
Ciao, mates! Bloopers. See if we remember our intro this time.
I think we do.
Do we?
Yeah.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Ciao!
And g'day!
Ciao! No. That sounded fake. Oh, I don't like this. I always forget.
I'm Lily.
And I'm...
Who are you?
I was scratching my nose. And I'm Sam.
Oh, she's Sam.
Potato.
Sorry, I've got
Shit.
Okay. No. It's fine.